Hello and welcome to the BTS Intensive on Old Testament for Isaiah to Malachi. I'm really excited about our class together. I think we're going to have a great 3-day discussion. I did want to go over the syllabus. There were a few typos in the syllabus, and so I wanted to update. The dates are July 11th through the 13th at Briarwood Presbyterian. We have a standard course description. We'll be working through the prophets, Isaiah through Malachi. We're taking a redemptive historic approach, a Christocentric approach, some might call. We have the link here to the 3-day intensive, and what we will be going over when we're together, what we'll talk about will be Isaiah 6 and 7, the whole virgin will conceive passage. We'll talk about the 9 through 12 and the coming son, and then the second Exodus theme in 40 through 66. All of those are great discussions, and I think we'll have a good time working through that together. Friday morning we'll do most of Ezekiel, and particularly we'll do the New Covenant passage in Ezekiel 36:22 to 36, one of the most underappreciated passages, but I think we'll all agree by the time we finish studying a fantastic section of Scripture. We'll look at Ezekiel 37 and how that's used in John 20 and how it looks back to Genesis 2 as well. We will have a section each of the second and third day, ask it basket questions. So anything you want to ask about the Bible, any question is fair game. If you want those to be anonymous, you can do it that way, and we'll take that last hour and a half on Friday to do the Ask It Basket questions. On Saturday, we'll do Daniel. We'll look at Zechariah, and in particular the section 14 that's so difficult to understand, and then close out our time together with Ask It Basket questions on Saturday afternoon. We're trying in this intensive to get an overview of the prophets, and so you want to make sure that you do the preparatory readings. There's a notebook template, and as you read through, you might use this document and just fill in notes, questions that you have. We'll read through all of it. You also want to do the textbook readings in Van Pelt, Biblical Theological Introduction to the Old Testament, and just record questions and observations that you have. Just looking for proof that you work through the material thoughtfully. There will be a final paper. There was a little confusion. That final paper is on Ezekiel 36 and Ezekiel 37. It should be about 3,000 words in Turabian. Some of the questions that we'll address in the class and you'll want to talk about in your paper: what's the message of the book of Ezekiel as a whole? How is it related to other prophetic books of the Old Testament? What are the major significant passages in Ezekiel? How does Ezekiel 36 and the first part of 37 relate to the New Testament? As you work through that, you'll probably want to read in a number of different translations. If you're able to read through, working through the Hebrew, you'll want to do that. if you're able to find English translations of some of the ancient translations, New English translation of the Septuagint, Loms's translation of the Syriac Peshitta, we have English translation of the Targums, Deuteronomy's Apocryphas, the Latin Vulgate, and then the Dead Sea Scrolls. There's a English translation of the Dead Sea Scrolls Bible, Abegg and Flint. And as always, we're asking what in all of this will be helpful to the local church. I have included some bibliographic helps here. These are just some tools that I've found helpful. In Logos, you have this Old Testament quotation allusions in the New, fantastic way to see how the New Testament uses different passage. Not sure how to say this guy's name, but Old Testament use of the Old Testament, fantastic resource. Abba ben David, twice told tales, parallels in the Bible. Here's a Hebrew only version of that, but that probably is beyond most people's ability to use, but it's it's the same resource, it's just purely Hebrew, and it does have a little bit better, is better formatted in the harmony. We've got our textbook, Van Pelt, Gordon Fee, and Douglas Stewart, How to Read the Bible Book by Book Classic. Nelson's complete book of Bible maps and charts is helpful. ESV Study Bible, Carson's Biblical Theology Study Bible, all helpful. Two videos that I found helpful, one by Tim Mackey. I don't support everything Mackey says, but there are, part of this video, their parts are helpful. And Jeffrey Krantz, I don't really know anything about him, but I did find the summary helpful. Some great commentaries, if you're not familiar with this, Isaiah Through the Centuries, Blackwell Bible Commentaries, fantastic summary resource. I bought the whole set, you use it all the time. The Robert Wilkin, Isaiah Interpreted by Early Christian Medieval Commentators, a little bit better than the ACC or even the Reformed Christian Commentary on Scripture. A little bit bigger quotes, you're able to see more of the big argument. Gill is great. Alex Madier, fantastic. I get everything he's done. The Brazos commentary, theological commentary, that's fantastic. There's some ancient ones if you're interested in that. If you're interested in Jewish interpretation, the whole Mikroth Gedaloth series is helpful. The Aramaic Bible translation is very helpful on technical issues. Scholarly translation of the Peshitta, if you're really in the weeds on a passage, sometimes that will help. Ancient Christian Commentary on Scripture, always a fantastic resource. Some summaries on the meta-narrative as a whole, T. Desmond Alexander, The City of God and the Goal of Creation, very helpful. Graham Goldsworthy, anything he does is very much worth reading. The IVP resources, very helpful. Notice that the notebook on readings is due at the start of the intensive, so you want to start now reading. Don't leave that till the last day, it would be overwhelming. And the final exegetical paper here, some different points. We will have a memory verse, memorizing Ezekiel 36, 22 through 36. You can use any translation you want. I do have a very literal translation. You're welcome to consider that. And then as you go through the primary text readings to 250 chapters, some things you want to look for as you work through, just some notes there I've put down, and then the textbook reading as well. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. I think we're going to have a great class together, and I'll look forward to talking to you then. Thanks.